This is part 2 of my CD collection. So this is the second rack. So got some AC/DC. So I have High Voltage. Back in Black. '74 Jailbreak EP. Who Made Who? This is the soundtrack to Maximum Overdrive. Ballbreaker, which actually doesn't have Ballbreaker in the case. The disc inside is actually live at the River Plate. So yeah, I am looking to get another copy of that one with the right disc. And Stiff Upper Lip. Black Ice. Rock or Bust. And then I have Total Madness, Greatest Hits of Madness. And I have a couple of ZZ Top Eliminator. And ZZ Top Greatest Hits. Van Halen, 1984. And Best of Van Halen. Then have Aerosmith, their debut album. And this is Permanent Vacation. And Honkin' on Bobo. And then Motorhead, Aces Up My Sleeve, basically just a greatest hits of Motorhead. All Right Now, the best of Free. Classic Rainbow, basically just the greatest hits of Rainbow. And The Doors, Morrison Hotel. And this one's LA Woman. And the very best of The Doors. Okay. Sex Pistols, Nevermind the Bollocks. Only studio album they did. Got one Metallica album, got the Black Album. My favourite. I personally think it's their best. And this is 10 Years After, Undead. It's a live album. The Searchers, Central Collection. So greatest hits, of course. And then Manfred Mann, greatest hits. Very best of Canned Heat. Bad Moon Rising, the best of Creedence Clearwater Revival. And then we have some Jimi Hendrix, Gangster of Love. Basically a collection of songs that he recorded before performing the Experience. And of course I have Are You Experienced, the first Jimi Hendrix Experience album. Axis Boulder's Love, probably my favourite Hendrix album. And Electric Ladyland. And The Best and the Rest of Jimi Hendrix, basically just a collection of unreleased songs. And Jimi Hendrix Cornerstones 1967 to 1970. So basically a collection of greatest hits, but also some live tracks as well, and some unreleased tracks. I've got The Byrds, Notorious Byrd Brothers, my favourite Byrds album, and I have The Very Best of the Byrds. Best of Blur. I'm not really a big Blur fan, but I do like some of their songs. Very Best of Meatloaf. Velvet Underground and Nico, fantastic album. Very Best of Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, Jersey's Best. Retrospectacle, the Supertramp Anthology. And Tin Machine 2. Don't have Tin Machine 1, which is their debut. Of course, that's the supergroup with that David Bowie was in. Idol songs. 11 of the Best, just the greatest hits of Billy Idol. Mums and the Puppers, the EP collection, just essentially just the greatest hits of them. The Dave Clark 5, Glad All Over Again, 35 solid gold hits. The Best of Jerry and the Pacemakers. Very Best of Roy Wood through the years. So this has stuff from The Move, Wizard, and stuff from his solo career as well. And The Pretty Things, Rhythm and Blues years. So yeah, it's essentially a greatest hits. And Savoy Brown, Hellbound Train, live 1969 to 1972. And then it's one of those CD racks that spins round, so yeah, let's turn it round. And then next, Simon and Garfunkel, Wednesday Morning 3 AM, and Sounds of Silence, Parsley, Sage, Rosemary and Thyme, Bridge Over Troubled Water, my favourite album by them, and their greatest hits. I'm only missing Bookends. That's the only one I need to complete the studio albums. BB King, The Collection, just the greatest hits of BB King. Very Best of Buddy Holly. The Essential Bob Dylan. I'm not really a Bob Dylan fan, to be honest, but I like some of his early hits. Best of Chuck Berry. And I've got some Eric Clapton. I'm not really a big Eric Clapton fan either, to be honest, but you know, I love Cream, I love the Yardbirds, loved Eric and the Dominoes and Blind Faith and all those bands that he was in, but I'm not that big on his solo work, to be honest, but I like some of it. This is Eric Clapton's Stages, so this has stuff from John Mayall's Blues Breakers, Cream, Blind Faith, and Derek and the Dominoes, and there's some solo stuff on there as well. And I do have Eric Clapton Unplugged, and Complete Clapton, so just greatest hits of his whole career. It's mainly his solo stuff, but there's a few Cream songs on there as well, and some Derek and the Dominoes and Blind Faith. And I've got some Paul McCartney. So yes, Paul McCartney and Wings Over America live album, and Wings Greatest, so just greatest hits of Paul McCartney and Wings. And Back in the US live 2002. And I've got some John Lennon as well, Imagine. And it's John Lennon's birthday today. he would have been 83. And Lennon Legend, the very best of John Lennon. And best of George Harrison. You know, it has some of his solo stuff on it, but there's some Beatles songs on there as well. The very best of Donovan. The Temptations at their very best. Very best of Fleetwood Mac. I'm not the biggest Fleetwood Mac fan. I'm a fan of the Peter Green era, but this sort of like covers every era of the band's career. But yeah, and there are some Peter Green tracks on there. The Freddie Mercury album. So yeah, it's basically a compilation of Freddie Mercury's solo career. Pretty good, not as good as Queen. The Essential Bruce Springsteen. Not really a Bruce Springsteen fan, to be honest, but I like some of his hits. And Prince, The Hits Volume 1. Don't actually have Volume 2. Again, I'm not really a big Prince fan either, but you know, I like some of the hits. And I've got some the Hollies. So this is their self-titled third album, I think. Possibly their fourth album, I don't know. I've got For Certain Because, A's, B's and EPs, so basically singles, B-sides and EP tracks, basically. And I have the Hollies' Greatest Hits. And I have the Moody Blues, Days of Future Past. Definitely their best album, I think. And the very best of the Moody Blues. The very best of the Bee Gees. You know, I'm mainly a fan of the early Bee Gees, to be honest. And I've got some Status Quo. So this is Spare Parts. Best of Status Quo. Two album set. This has Never Too Late and Back to Back. And Now and Then Volume 1. So basic greatest hits. Now and Then Volume 2 and Volume 3. And Classic Status Quo, just another compilation. And Status Quo Pictures. This is a live album. It also comes with a DVD of the concert. Concert doesn't want to go back in. I'll sort that out afterwards. And last Status Quo one I have, this is Quid Pro Quo. So yeah, it's a studio album, but it also comes with a live disc as well. And Small Faces Ultimate Collection, fantastic compilation. And the very best of Herman's Hermits. And I've got just two more CDs to show. I've got the very best of Bob Marley and the Wailers, the early years, 1968 to 1974. And Legend, the best of Bob Marley and the Wailers. You know, great compilation. Everybody should have that. And that's my CD collection. I hope you enjoyed that, Kyle. And take care.